The Niqabi Diaries Season 1 ebook with clickable links for each episode is available now, complete with 52 illustrations and inspirational quotes from each podcast guest. Click on the link in the description to get yours. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Season 2 of the Niqabi Diaries podcast, a platform dedicated to sharing the stories of the women behind the veil. This season, we will be speaking to more Muslim women from all walks of life as we continue to discuss their deep and intimate reasons for wearing the niqab. The Niqabi Diaries, our experiences, our perspectives, our voices. I'm your host, Samar, and thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister, how are you?
Salam, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for joining us today on the Niqabi Diaries. Sister, could you please introduce yourself for the listeners and just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Okay, my name is Najah. Most people know me on Instagram as Najah.Eritrean. And I started this platform because I wanted to share my story of the journey that I've gone through and for people to get inspired by. And because a lot of things that I've shared on my IG, I think a lot of people probably feel like they're ashamed to share. So I just felt like just come out of that whole culture stigma where you feel ashamed to share things that you've gone through, and maybe it'll be a good thing for people to start sharing, especially for my Eritrean community. People don't really share what they go through because we've been taught at a young age not to share things that goes on at home or anything that you're going through. Like it should be like just be like just kept basically just on your mind and not even like sharing with anyone basically.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So, and what particular things can you just give us some like little bit of highlights, and we'll talk about them more detail later?
I feel like more about like my mental health, like things that I've experienced at a 16-year-old girl. Now I'm a 30-year-old woman, but like back then I was like 16 years old and I didn't know what was going on, as in what the home that was just like overnight just kind of like spiraled between my parents' marriage, where it affected us children as well. People just think about the woman that gets affected by things that she's going through with her husband, but also that actually always also it affects the children as well. And I feel like it's not really being shared as well. So I just felt like I want to like share what I've gone through, and I know like it's going to impact other people out there who are probably going through things as well. Yeah, because at that time age we didn't really have any like we did have family, but everyone kind of just lived their own lives, I guess. And the community kind of like didn't want to like really show that support in that during those dark moments that I experienced with me, my mom and my family.
Okay, so do you come from like an Islamic family? Like, is your family Muslim? And as well, like, if so, were they a practicing family? Would you describe them as being quite practicing?
Yeah, like I don't come from like the ideal religious family that everyone thinks that they're religious. Like I think everyone in my family are like, we are born Muslim, and my mom did teach us the religion, but it wasn't like imposed on us, because she wanted us to kind of like find our own journey to Allah. So she never wanted to put that pressure, but she did like share like things about the religion. And yeah, and you know, like everyone in my family members, my siblings, I've got like probably like 5 brothers and 3 sisters, and everyone's in their own journey of practicing, I guess. I can't really judge when it comes to that, but yeah.
Okay, so how did you come to start wearing the niqab then?
I started like, I think my older sister Hannah, like she started wearing it, and she never really told me about it. She just kind of wore it, and I didn't really know that niqab was part of Islam, because my mom just wore the hijab and I didn't have any family members that she wore the niqab. So I was quite intrigued by it, and I just thought like it it looked beautiful for me anyway when like my sister would wear it, or like because we lived in North London, there
Right.
weren't much even like hijabis in like the area of North London, Palm Green that we lived in. So for me, like seeing my sister wearing a garb and stuff, like it kind of like I saw that something very like beautiful thing that she's doing, part of the religion in terms of where we lived as well.
Okay.
So then I just started doing my own research online without telling anyone. And during that time, like I was like 17, and I was just first year into practicing the religion and just taking my baby steps. And when I did and then I researched about the Prophet's wives and stuff. I think Aisha Raja'ana, like she stood out for me the most. Like when I hear like her story, her personality, like it really like I really enjoyed hearing her stories. So, and she obviously wore it as what, the niqab. So I was like, I actually want to like look up to this woman. So I done like 6 months research that, and then Ramadan was coming and I was starting my second year of college, and I just and then like I told myself, let me just wear it for this first month of Ramadan, and if I like it, then I'm gonna put it on. And yeah, so then I put it on, and then like and and I told myself, like, if I don't enjoy wearing it, I'm actually gonna take off the niqab. But alhamdulillah, like I actually fell in love with it. Like that whole experience that month was very like I really loved it, so I just kept it on.
Mashallah. So you
And
were 17 at the time.
yeah, I was 17. Yeah.
SubhanAllah. So had you been wearing the hijab before that?
I never like, from the home we came from, we weren't like, I like the way my mom like taught us like she taught us the religion and stuff, but she allowed us, like I said before, like allowed us to be in our own journey of finding praying and wearing the hijab, because she said that she didn't want to impose it on us, and then after, when she's not there, we'll take it off, the hijab.
Mm.
So I had that freedom, like where I could just not wear it. So I wouldn't, because so like I actually didn't wear the hijab at all, and I didn't pray, and I wasn't like fasting as well back then. But yeah, and then when I was 16, I felt like I got to a low point in my life, and I just didn't find any like contentment or happiness in my life. Um, I feel like I can't experience like other things that teenagers go through as well. So that didn't give me that happiness within myself.
Mm.
So I started, and then my sister that day, like when I was actually reflecting on that day, my sister like came into my bedroom and she told me about Islam and stuff, and about who Allah is, like who He is, and Tawheed, and how He's merciful and stuff like that. I've never really heard a lot of like, as I was growing up, about who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. It's just about like what's right and wrong, what you can't do, part of the religion. And as a child, like you want to do things as well. Like you don't want to just like be like the odd one out in school as well, and having that pressure. So when I found out who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and stuff like that, like I actually fell in love with His attributes, and I was like, you know what, like I actually want to commit to this God, and by doing that, like I have to follow His way. and
Alhamdulillah.
and yeah, and I just said like I want to adopt the hijab, because I know like it'll be like a reminder for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even though like that was like the biggest, I feel like wearing a hijab was like the biggest thing for me to put on, because I was more like into like fashion and stuff like that. And like I was very like kept together in terms of where I dressed and do my hair and stuff. So for me to give up that was like a big thing. But I feel like in that moment I was like, you know what, like I actually want to commit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so I want to like obey Him and just put that on. And then yeah, and alhamdulillah, since then I just kept to it.
Alhamdulillah.
And then that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
mashallah, tabarakallah. So you mentioned that your sister, your older sister, had started wearing it. So would you
Mm.
say that it was easy for you because of that, or was there any kind of obstacles from other members of your family at all for when you started wearing it?
Oh, funny enough, like my sister did get a bit of backlash. Not everyone was supportive towards her. Like my mom was just more of like she was just for a safety like safety reason. She didn't really want my sister to wear it, so she kept telling her that to like, you know, just to take it off and just wear the hijab and stuff. But obviously, like, my sister just like, but like, no, like, I want to put it on, like, I want to commit to it and stuff. But now being a mother as well, back then I just didn't understand. Like, whenever mom would say, like, I'll get defensive, even though like I wasn't wearing it at the time, like, I'll get defensive. But I think like as a mother now, looking back, you would naturally want to just be like, you know, be careful,
Yeah,
you know, people
protective,
might,
yeah.
yeah, and stuff like that. But at the time, as a teenager, I was like, because like, because I feel like also because back in school, like all my friends were like non-Muslim, and there weren't really Muslim people in my, probably like one, two, three girls in my whole year were Muslim, but the rest wasn't. So like my friends were like, just like do what you want and whatever makes you happy, like that kind of like Western mindset. So so my sister was doing that, like I feel like it's up to her, it's her choice, like so when I did wear it, my mom was like, oh, like you're wearing it as well, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And then she was just like, well, be careful and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, I know and stuff. And yeah, yeah, like a lot of people were surprised, my family, because I didn't actually share with anyone that like I'll be wearing the niqab. Like I just went, I bought it, I went to the mosque and I wore it, and then on that first day back at college in September, when I started my second year of college, I yeah, just wore it in the morning. No one really saw me. So when I came back from college in the evening, like that's when they happened to see me, and they were like, "Oh my God, like you actually wore the niqab." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And my sister's like, "You need to be careful." And I was like, funny enough, you say that. You wear it before me.
Alhamdulillah,
So
alhamdulillah. So when you went to college, like what was the reaction of you know, your
oh, because the
classmates?
college, yeah, the college that I went to was in East London. Like I went to Sir
Oh
George
right,
Monarch
alhamdulillah.
College, so it's like full of Muslims. So,
Okay, alhamdulillah, easy.
but obviously, like the first year, I was wearing my hijab, so like everyone just like shocked, like the people in my class. But a majority of people in my class were all Muslim as well, so they were very like supportive. They're like they couldn't believe like, you know, I wore it and stuff.
Alhamdulillah,
Um, yeah, was yeah.
alhamdulillah, mashallah. So would you say that it was easy for you to wear it then? You sound like
Yeah, it
you was
was
very
very
passionate
easy
about it.
because like it's like full of Muslims. Like
Mm,
but upon like in the college there was only me and this other girl in the whole college that wore the niqab. There were hijabis, abaya and stuff, but
yeah,
me and her were the only ones in the whole college that wore the niqab. But alhamdulillah, like, it was actually a beautiful experience because everyone's Muslim. So
alhamdulillah. I
yeah,
mean, like
majority.
besides the college itself, I mean, like when obviously you was traveling to college, like when
Oh
you was on
yeah,
the,
because
you know, when you was on
yeah.
public transport and this kind of thing, you know, how like do you have any kind of issues or anything like that? How did the public, how was your reactions in the public?
Oh my gosh, so like when I was about to start my second year the second year of college, 3 months before that we moved to central London, and yeah, like when I started wearing it, like I'll get the train, the Victoria line to get to college, yeah, like people would stare because obviously like I lived in central London, so like I find it a bit strange because like my sister was saying when she wore it, like when we were living in North London, Palmer's Green, she wasn't getting any stares. But
Yeah,
when we moved to Central, like I stood like the hijab was fine. Like I never got anyone looking at me weirdly or stuff like anything like that. But like when I started wearing the niqab, I saw the shift in how people would just stare and just stare at me, like not even look, like even when I look back at them, they're like just still staring at me. It was just like so awkward as
yeah,
and every day kept like I feel like over time it was really getting to me, and yeah, like I never got any physical abuse, but now looking back, like I was getting like verbally abused, but like it wasn't happening in the train. Like it would happen like when I'm out in the street
yeah,
walking past. Yeah, like I hit like I get people like saying ninja or like yeah, I think mostly ninja and stuff will call me out and stuff like that. And I feel like what? Like in the beginning, like I just felt like what they're saying. And when I used to share with people like what's going on, they'll just be like, "Oh, just keep quiet. Like, you know, they're non-Muslim people. You know, like if we like say something back to them, like respond back to them, we're gonna make ourselves look bad. So you like it's better that you be the better person and keep quiet. And that was very like difficult struggle for me to like be that kind of person, because my personality is if someone was gonna say anything rude to me or like disrespectful, like I was the sort of person that would just respond right away. I could not just walk past and be like, okay, someone said that, like. So when they were telling me this, and I was still in the early baby steps of like practice, I felt like, oh, to be a good Muslimah, like I need to keep quiet and not say nothing and just like walk past them, even if they're shouting, screaming, and saying all this insulting words towards me and stuff. Like I should just keep quiet. And I felt like now looking back, that like built up anxiety in me, and I felt like I couldn't have a voice because of what people were telling me that I had to be as a Muslimah or idol Muslimah, which now that after becoming a mother and stuff, I realized like, no, like that's not how you should be. Like you shouldn't change yourself. Like practice religion, but you can still be yourself. You know, it's not like you're going out wronging people, being bad to people. Yeah, so that really like my personality over time wasn't really there. I felt like my anxiety kept getting high, and I didn't know what I was experiencing at the time, because I couldn't put a name to it. But now, like the last 4 years, I've been doing more about mental health work within myself. I realized that, oh, like what I was developing is anxiety, depression, stuff like that along the way. And then because it wasn't like mental health awareness wasn't really around back in 2008 or 9.
Especially in the Muslim community. I think it's not something
Yeah,
as you said, people don't really deal with these things, or like, and definitely it's good to give people advice, remember Allah, and say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, these kind of things, but it can be deeper than that sometimes. It's not as easy for everybody, because obviously everybody has different struggles and tests. So I think definitely in the Muslim community, and I think even just being African as well, generally, I know that depression is not something people take even seriously. Tell them if you're depressed, it's just like, cheer up kind of thing, subhanallah. So would you say that you feel that the niqab was a barrier of any kind, and if so, in which
I don't I don't feel it was, but I guess like a lot of people, like because in central London, like there were Muslims and Arabs who come from like different parts of the world, so I just felt like people would be okay with it. But after wearing, I realized people are not. Me personally, no, like I don't feel like it is a barrier. I don't know, for me personally, like, because when I never used to wear the niqab, like I could still communicate with sisters who wore the niqab. Like so, but I guess some people will see it as a barrier. But I personally don't think, especially now there's like pandemic and it's like everyone are kind of forced to wear the niqab. It's like, I mean, face mask, which is basically a niqab. It's like what was that whole media outlet out there saying like, oh, about Mr. Women who cover their faces and stuff like that, all this like insulting stuff. And it's like now that they are forced to cover their faces and they're communicating fine and stuff. So I don't really understand. That was like, so now I knew it wasn't really to do with the fact that, oh, barrier. I feel like it's just to do with like you're being a bit too much, putting your religion out there. Like I just feel like you're doing a bit over the top for them. And
subhanallah. So have you done any traveling at all wearing the niqab?
So when I went on holiday, like when I was 18 to Sudan to go and see my family, I'm not from Sudan, but like my family live in Sudan. But like in the airport, in the UK airport, they were actually really fine. Like they actually would take me to a room and check me who like my ID and stuff. So that was fine. But I think when we had a stopover in Dubai, like one of the guy at the check-in point was just a bit like he literally wanted me to take off my niqab because he said there's no woman around, but I was like, you can get another woman. I could see another woman in the other desk down there. So but he was just trying to make it difficult for me. But I kept refusing. I'm not gonna take off my niqab to you. Like you can get a woman and stuff. But all in all, like in the end he did get a woman, and I did report him during that to someone there, and then he did get spoken to.
Alhamdulillah, good
Yeah,
for you.
but
Good for you. But
yeah,
seriously, if you don't ask, you don't get, isn't it? This is the thing. You have to like stand
yeah,
your ground, isn't it? Because this is what
yeah.
happens when the people like they get taken advantage of, isn't it? You know, alhamdulillah.
But also it's funny enough because when I went to, when I went on my honeymoon with my husband, like in Malaysia, we've got they were a bit like they won't offer you a room, like they were very like, no, there's no room. Like even they had to get like the manager, they're like, oh, we can ask the manager, and then the manager like, no, there's no room available for you. Like they were literally like, they're a bit rude as well. Like they were like, oh, like, well, if you don't choose to take it off, then we're not gonna allow you to get through and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, they're really like direct like that. And I was a bit surprised because like you're a Muslim woman wearing hijab, like why are you talking to me like that?
Okay. Wow.
But in the UK, like non-Muslim people, they're like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and it took me to a corner somewhere, and then they actually left their desk where they for the check-in, and the lady came with me, and then took me to the corner and just showed my, and then took off my veil. There was no problem. But when I went there, they were literally like, sorry, no, you either remove your veil or we're not gonna allow you to get through. And obviously I have to get through, so
Yeah.
but it was
Exactly.
alright because there were ladies, but in itself it's like I didn't like the way like I was spoken, like the way I was spoken to. Yeah, but in the UK, like I felt like they were all respectful and stuff.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So have you come across any sisters who also want to wear the niqab, but they're not allowed to wear it for any particular reason, like maybe somebody in their family stopping them from wearing it?
Oh yeah, like I had like friends like who were really like inspired by me, and they wanted to wear like the niqab. I think some of them actually is more to do with them like finding it difficult when they get public transportation. They don't they, they said they will find it difficult and challenging to like all the stares or comments or like verbal abuse they'll get, that they rather would want to keep to wearing the hijab than going through all of that. And yeah, and I guess everyone has their own opinion whether they take it as highly recommended or like or fudge and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Have you met any sisters who've been forced into wearing it?
Oh no, I've never met anyone forced to wear even hijab or niqab.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So what would you advise a sister who doesn't feel confident to wear the niqab? What kind of advice would you give her, but like she wants to wear it?
Oh, the one wants to wear it. Like I feel like maybe she should like take the steps into wearing it like sometimes like when she's out and about, maybe not right away as well, not to rush into it as well, and then like see how she feels about it. How I think now because of pandemic, I think it's more easier if I'm honest. As in before, like when I did it, like it was very challenging because, and obviously the media was like going crazy on women who wear the face veil and make it into some scare tactic. I felt.
Yeah.
And but now because of the pandemic, I feel like it's easier for anyone who wants to wear the niqab in the West. Like I feel like it's actually really easier for them. Like because like I heard even like the verbal abuse that most women who face cover have reduced because the pandemic.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got its benefits, I suppose. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So sister, could you just give us a little bit of you know, something about your Instagram page? You mentioned that you talk about mental health and you wanted to share your story. That's why you started it. So can you just tell us a little bit about that, inshallah?
Okay, yeah. So my page is just about me sharing my story that I've gone through, like from the age of 16, and all the challenging and trials and things that I was experiencing, and some and I do add some things that like I should have actually done if I knew better. and and also I want to just like, because I know like there must be other Muslim sisters out there who might who are going through it as well, and just to like share with them, to let them know like you're not alone, and that like what you're going through now is like you will get to a point in your life where you're not going through mental health and stuff,
Yeah, completely.
and like you will get to a place where you're like your life be better. And obviously like even if your life does get better, there'll be tests and trials and
Of
stuff,
course.
but like um but not to the point where it actually affects your mental health and you experience all these things like depression, anxiety and all that. And just like you'll get to a point like where you want to actually like heal from your journey and recover, and get to a point where like you can actually share your story and let people know that you're not alone, and you will get past this, and your life, your circumstances that you're going through now, it's not gonna be like there like for the next 10 years. Is actually gonna get better. Now that like mental health awareness is out there now, on social media and stuff, like that's gonna help you as well, because back when I was experiencing it like in 2007, like there wasn't anything about mental health awareness going on and stuff, and it's not spoken about in schools and colleges and stuff like that, so you felt like you were alone. And you felt like, for me, like I felt like I was just a bit like I knew like there was something wrong with me, but I just didn't know like what the word for it was, because there was not like awareness about it as well. And I felt ashamed as well to share and stuff about my like what I was experiencing, because when I will go and meet my friends, it's like they seem fine, they're not actually sharing what they're going through, so it's not like so yeah.
So what do you think the Muslim community should be doing in order to like help people who are having issues with mental health? What would you like for them from the Muslim community?
I personally felt like the last 3 4 years, like there has been a change in like in the Muslim community, like where they actually are addressing mental health. But like June 2007, during that time, I never actually heard about mental health awareness. Like especially like the early days when I would always go to these events, Islamic events, and like constantly I'll go, but there was nothing about mental health awareness or things that you're struggling with. It was just more about, oh, just be patient, test and trials, and you going through and stuff. But some things that you've gone through, like now looking back, there are, like I haven't shared like more there's gonna be more stories that I'll be sharing like along the way to share with people, like the things that I thought that were tests and trials were actually like suffering, and I didn't know I was suffering. I just felt like, oh, this is test and trial. I just have to be patient. I just have to be patient. When I go to talks, I'm like, like all they kept talking about is being patient and stuff. But things you go through in life is like for me, like it wasn't necessary to do about tests and trials. There were actually times where it was actually suffering, like in my life, and I just took it as in like, because I was practicing as well. Like I felt like I like took it as like, oh, this is a test that I need to get through. Which but now looking back, now being a grown woman, like that actually wasn't that part of my journey that I went through wasn't actually safe for me to even stay there. Like it felt like I actually should have left, and from that thing that was like that I was
That
suffering for.
situation. So yeah, because
Yeah.
I think this, I understand what you're saying, because I think sometimes, like you said, you can be in a difficult situation, a bad situation, but the reality is everybody has a choice about what
Yeah.
they're going to choose to do, whether to stay in
Mhm.
that situation or not. And sometimes in the Muslim community, I know from the aspect of maybe, for example, being in a
Yeah.
bad marriage, you go through
Yeah.
something, and then the advice given to the sister, oh, just be patient, but actually
Yeah.
you're in an abusive situation and you have a choice, and Allah's given divorce is something which is halal, and you have the right to not stay there and be abused and oppressed.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
and there's only so much, how much abuse should somebody really take anyways? So if
Okay.
in that kind of situation, yeah, definitely, like the woman does have a choice, but sometimes, as
Mm.
Muslim women, we're not made aware that yes, this is a
Yeah.
choice. Being patient doesn't mean letting
Yeah.
people treat you like dirt. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah. Yeah,
Yeah.
mashallah. So yeah, I see, like, from that aspect, I can see what you're saying, and obviously there's going to be other examples when this is you know, also applicable, obviously. So yeah, like we need to be made aware of our choices.
And
um
also, like, I'd like to add to that what you just said. Also, like, I feel like it's also like people who are not married but they're living in a family home,
mhm,
like things that they experience as well. Like, it's actually suffering as well,
of course,
but they
yeah.
feel like I can't say it because it's my uncle or it's my auntie or it's my
Mm,
mom or it's my dad or it's my brother or my sister's doing this to me. Like, they feel so afraid to share with anyone what they're going through, or they feel like I can speak out against them. Could you feel like you're bringing the family reputation down or something? I
yeah,
feel like if you come, yeah,
definitely.
so,
Yeah, definitely. I
yeah,
mean, I remember even I mean, not in my own family, but something happened to me basically, and it just made me
yeah,
kind of reflect on this whole thing. And
okay,
because, like, when it happened, like, somebody
yeah,
did something to me basically, and when it happened, I was just
mm,
thinking, I felt so ashamed, and
I
I
know,
didn't want to talk about it at all. And it wasn't like, it wasn't
yeah,
even something so major. It was wrong what the person did to me, but it wasn't like something like,
yeah,
it could have been like a lot majorly worse. Like, there's things that happen to people which is much more terrible, like, you know, gone to like a really extreme level. But the way I felt afterwards, I was thinking, Sapana, I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. And even now,
I
like, it's
know,
something I find it hard to even mention. I just told a
yeah,
couple of friends, you know, and they was like, oh my
oh,
God, like, you shouldn't, like, you know,
mm,
you need to talk about that. But I didn't want to tell anybody. And it made me
oh,
reflect. And I was just thinking, Subhanallah, like, other people who've been in a situation where they've been abused and all these kind of things, like really like
mm,
heinous things have
yeah,
happened to them, like from other people,
mm,
especially even in their families.
yeah,
How do they
I
even
know,
bring it to light? Like, and
I
subhanallah,
know,
for the people who do come out with these things, and then the family shuns them, or the family blames
yeah,
them, or turns against them, you just think,
yeah.
subhanallah,
I
like,
just
it
had that
must be
recent.
so difficult.
Kind of like what you just said, like I actually had a family member reach out to me and telling me why I am sharing what we've gone through on
Mm,
social media and stuff. I was like, well, that's a story that I've gone through and I'm gonna share it.
yeah,
But I was like, yeah,
subhanallah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
like,
just this thing, like, you know, obviously every family has secrets, and I'm not saying, and the reality is, you can share
mm-hmm.
certain things that have happened to you without, everybody doesn't know who your family is still anyways, do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
not like
mm-hmm.
you're telling everybody's name or something like
Yeah,
that specifically. You're
mm-hmm.
telling it in a way that other people can relate, and then they can also benefit, and they can also try to, you know, find some healing in their own situations as well. So I think,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of benefit in that, inshallah, you know.
Yeah,
But
I really hope there is, because there are
yeah,
so many
inshallah.
sisters who've reached out to me on my DM and stuff, who said like they felt the same, or some of them actually have experienced it as
Mm,
well in their lives, and they felt like they didn't know like anyone to go to help them, or even like console them or anything like that. They actually felt alone. Yeah.
yeah, subhanallah. Yeah, I think it's good, alhamdulillah, you're doing something which I think is, inshallah, positive, and hopefully a lot
Yeah.
more um you know, sisters will like feel that kind of it takes a lot of confidence to open up about things like that, you know, subhanallah. Like, obviously there's some things
Yeah.
that are obviously going to be more like distressing
Hmm.
maybe than other things, but the reality is
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody's the way people deal with different situations, you know, it affects everybody at different levels, and you can never know how somebody feels about something. Like, the
Yeah.
same thing could happen to two different people, but they deal
Yeah.
with it in completely different ways, you know, and it affects them in different ways as well. And these are the things we need
Yeah.
to be aware of, and not just trying to impose our own um you know, our own perceptions of how we think we would deal with it, and try to make somebody else deal with it the same way, and and end
Yeah.
up being dismissive of that person's, like, you know, experience. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
subhanallah.
Yeah. I believe
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
alhamdulillah. That's why I really appreciate, like, the work that you're doing, and I've got a lot to catch up with your account
Yeah.
as well, actually, inshallah. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just having, like, you know, listened to a couple of the lives, like some parts of it, I think that, mashallah, you're doing really important work. So yeah, Allahumma barik, may Allah make it easy for you, and help you to continue doing your work, and I pray that
Thank
Allah
you.
makes it a means of blessing and reward for you. I mean.
I mean, inshallah.
I mean, so, sister, just to finalize this interview, I'll ask you the last
Yeah.
question, which is, what does the
Hmm.
niqab mean to you?
I think like when the niqab helps me get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it like I feel like also like it helped me like to not always just like, because when I wear hijab, like I wear like makeup and stuff, so I feel like the niqab helped me like not wear makeup as well. And yeah, like I feel like it's a blessing in disguise. I feel like with hijab or niqab, I feel like it's something sometimes we take for granted, but like there is actually hidden blessings into why we should be wearing it as well. Yeah. Even though like it is a struggle, like even though like I'm 30 years old and like I still struggle to this day. Like I actually felt like getting married, like it would actually help me, like like it'll get easier, but I feel like it gets more challenging as well. Once you're married and then and you're going out your business and it's like summer day and you see all these women like proper half naked and you're there covered up and your husband's there, just like obviously like you get like like it's like a woman thing, like you want to be out there looking like wearing your
nice
summer
as well.
clothes. Yeah, wear my like sunglasses and have my hair out and I don't know, like stuff like that. Like I feel like people don't really talk about that, but I feel like yeah, like it like to this day I feel like hijab and niqab, like I do struggle to this day, and I always make dua like for like him to make it easier for me, but it's like yeah, like I still struggle to this day. There are days when I'm feeling like iman feels like, oh good, I can wear this. Some days I feel like, oh like I feel like I actually don't want to wear it, and then like I just like make a prayer, or when I pray make dua and I feel like okay, I feel like no, like I feel like I can do this. It's not like something I'm really struggling to the point I have to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So can I just ask you another question then, because obviously you mentioned a little bit about your husband there. So how does he feel about you wearing the niqab?
Oh, like one of like he did actually want to get married to Niqabi sister as well, my husband. Like he said like when he was looking to get married, he was actually looking for, because we're not the same race as well, so he was actually looking for like a Eritrean practice sister, like he wears the niqab, but he said like he didn't think that he would actually be able to find a Niqabi sister and stuff that he thought, yeah, that he wants to get married to and stuff.
Sorry, did you say that your husband is Eritrean as well?
Oh no, he's not. We're different race. I'm
Right.
Eritrean, but he's Japanese and Zimbabwean.
Oh, okay,
So
mashallah.
yeah, so yes, so yeah, but he actually initially wanted to get married to Niqabi, like Eritrean sister and stuff. So for him, like he was actually for the Niqab anyway.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Well, that
Yeah,
makes it
yeah, yeah.
easier, I think. And
Yeah, like I couldn't, like with me, like when I was single, I was trying to look for someone. They'll like I'll get brothers that are a bit weird about in the club. I was like, from what they say about it, or like I just automatically knew that they're not really within a club. Like so for me, that was a no. Like like because I want a husband that actually likes the niqab and stuff, because I wouldn't want someone that's gonna tell me to take it off, or like make me feel like weird about me, like when we're out and about, people looking at me weirdly or whatever. Like for him to be that like to be supportive about it and not be like, oh, people are looking at us or whatever, like stuff like that. So that was one of my things as well, like for me, was one of the questions I did up when I was going through my marriage stuff, meeting with brothers, like about the niqab was a big thing for me, because I didn't want it to be that like for me to take it off. Or,
alhamdulillah, no, that's really wise that you did that, actually, because a lot of sisters have
yeah,
that as an issue. Like
yeah,
sometimes I've heard that sisters, they
yeah,
wear niqab, for example, then when they get married, the husband tells them he doesn't want them to wear it anymore. So I think it's
yeah.
important, actually, like just on another side, there's what I was thinking when, as you was describing, you know, what you said about your husband, that he was looking for another Niqabi sister. Like, it's just to make
Oh,
other sisters aware that,
yeah,
you know, you don't need to put off wearing a niqab because you're not married, because some people believe
yeah.
that, you know, and some sisters are being told that if they're wearing a niqab they won't be able to find a husband. But
That's what I was told by so many family members. Like he's gonna see you, he's gonna marry you, stuff like that. But I was just like, I put my trust in Allah. Like I don't put my trust in anyone else.
Alhamdulillah. So yeah,
Uh,
it's really good,
yeah,
you know, and
uh,
I know so many sisters have had the same experience. There's plenty of good
yeah,
practicing brothers, mashallah, who want a
yeah,
sister who wears the niqab, and it's much easier for them, like if their sisters who are already who wearing the niqab, rather than they meet a sister and they like her but she's not wearing it, and then they kind of try to convince her to wearing it. Do you know what I mean?
oh yes, yes, that there is that as well. Like my friend, like my husband's friend, he's like trying to want his wife to wear the niqab. I was like, he can't actually impose it in her because he married her not wearing it as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Yeah.
And even if she chooses to not, like, even if like she was wearing it before and she takes off, it's her choice. Like
Mm,
it's just like everyone else is in their own journey.
yeah, of
Uh,
course. Yeah,
uh,
subhanallah. Yeah,
mhm.
mashallah. Jazakallah khair, sister. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for giving your time to, and I've really, really loved talking to you. Inshallah, I'm going to leave your Instagram details in the description so that anybody can follow
yeah,
you if you're interested, especially in mental health, sisters. So you can contact sister
yeah.
Najah, and you know, then obviously have somebody like to reach out to, mashallah, because mashallah, she's really taken time to put herself out there and share her experiences so that other people can also benefit as well. Alhamdulillah, she's very easy to talk to. So yeah.
Yeah, like I just like to say thank you for like like inviting me to your podcast. Like I'm very humbled by it.
Allahumma barik, alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair, sister. I saw what you was doing, and I really believe in it. So, you know,
Yeah,
definitely was
alhamdulillah.
on my list for quite a while, basically. So alhamdulillah, yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm glad that you agreed. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah
Yeah,
khair.
definitely.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam.